And there we go. Hello, Dean. Are you drying your nails? Is that what's going on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think you can. You can't hear me. Can you hear me? Dean, you can't hear me. I can't hear you. You died. Come back. So that's what happens every once in a while. Dean Blundell of FiveStack fame is saying this and that, and I guess we're waiting for him because we still can't hear him. Oh, he's counting us down. One now. I don't know what he's doing. You're on live. If you don't know that, Dean, I'm going to take you off the screen so you can pick your nose delicately. And then you're not on. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yep.
Ellie, you can't hear me either, right? Hi, Ellie.
No, I can hear me either. Hi, how's it going?
Good to see you again. Ellie Leonard, of course, of the Panicked Writer. We'll wait for Dean to come back because we cannot hear you, Dean, which is not the way we like to start a show, but it happens. Welcome to the FiveStack, everybody. It's so good to have you here. We've got 5 big stories. The reason Ellie's here, and hopefully Lev Parnas will join us as well. Let me just take sure he knows that he's got to reconnect. Maybe he's back. Let me see. The rock and roll of live TV. Are you there, sir?
Still nothing.
Nothing.
Can't hear you.
No audio. You got to reconnect. He loves this.
Good mime.
The reason you're here, Ellie, is because there's been so much news going on about Michael Cohen, about Jeffrey Epstein. It's just a non-stop story, and you've got so much information about that. So we're looking forward to hearing from you about that. And here he is again. I'm going to cough while we can do this. Is he back? Hello.
Welcome to the FiveStack, everybody. My name's Dean. That is Ellie. Yay! You know what's fucking hilarious is that, pardon my language, welcome. Hi, Ellie. Nice to see you, dear. Hi. Zev. Nice to see you, dear.
Nice to see you, dear.
Nice to see you, love. He's my Substack live boyfriend. I was just talking to Lev. He just called me and he's like, when are we going? I'm like, right now. And then we started to kind of chat and he didn't know we were actually live while he called. And so I'm on the phone with Lev and I'm on the live with you, but I just hung up with Lev. He's on his way in. Welcome to the FiveStack, everybody.
Lev called me at the eye doctor this morning, so I was chatting with him while I was at the eye doctor.
It's surreal, isn't it? When Lev Parnas calls you.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
We all talk to him all the time. It's kind of amazing how involved he is with so many things. And then, the phone rings and Lev calls. You got to talk to him. You got to pick it up. You got to talk. The guy's got things to say.
Listen, I'll tell you something. Not only is it funny, like several months ago when we started doing this, my phone would ring and, I'd be sitting there and my partner would go, Lev Parnas is calling you? And I go, yeah.
With that look in her face?
She's like, oh my God, seriously? You know him? I go, yeah, I work with him. She's like, oh my God, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, totally. But he is so dogged. Right? Like he's on a fucking mission. That's why he calls people. He's like, we got to do this. We got to do that. Like there is nothing performative about this guy. He is on a mission to fucking bring democracy back. He's on a mission to hold people's feet to the fire. And I surely think that that's where we're going with our first story in the FiveStack, if I'm not mistaken.
We're going in various directions in the first story of this, and I don't want to. Ellie's here, so maybe we should talk about the Epstein Cohen thing first, but we should also wait for Lev. So let me talk about Greenland first, which was actually number 4 story, but it just happened. It's breaking news right now. The foreign minister of Greenland and the foreign minister of Denmark were just in a meeting with our foreign minister, our foreign secretary, Marco Rubio, and J.D. Vance, and all about Greenland, about whether they can acquire Greenland, whether America can acquire Greenland. The meeting was a bit of a diplomatic snooze, really, because they agreed to have a stalemate. They'll talk again in a few weeks. They'll have high-level meetings, but they didn't really agree to either sell the country, nor did they agree to allow any sort of takeover of the country militarily. So this is not great news for the White House, which likes to see things getting done, but it is good news for the rest of us. It means NATO still exists. It means we're not at war, and it means that the allies haven't started feuding with each other, which is, I like that. I like the not war part. For me, that's good news.
Yeah.
Very low bar.
Yeah. No war. All right. Can I ask you something? Ellie, you're a mother, right? You're a parent?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How many kids do you have?
4.
Congratulations. Way to go. You must be
Thanks.
Catholic
You
or
want to
Mormon.
borrow some?
No, I know.
I didn't ask.
I have 3 and they're adults.
Okay, all
But
right.
I want, yeah, I know I made it. I won. I totally won. But you've got young kids. And when you have young kids, getting them to manipulating your kids can come only one of 2 ways, right? It's with sweetness or it's with a threat. Now,
Yeah.
when you threaten your child, sometimes we make these fantastic threats, right? Because we're devoid of anything else in the moment, right? Like where you can't critically think, you can't go, okay, now how do I play my kid? How do I get him to do what I want to do? And you're just fed up, and you just because you don't have the intellectual horsepower to be able to, manipulate your child into doing something that you want them to do that's good for them, or that you want them to do just because you want them to do it. Hey, love. And
Hey
so,
guys.
and
Hey,
so
you have to shift a little bit to get back into the screen there, but go
I
ahead.
look,
Sorry.
I look at Greenland this way, and I want everybody's thoughts. I happen to believe, and I'm of this opinion, that Donald Trump, Venezuela aside, because he did it, that it's almost like when you, as a parent, you say to your kid, if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to break your arm. Well, you're never
Mm.
going to fucking break your kid's arm. Like, you're just never going to do it. And over time, your kids go, yeah, they're not breaking my arm. There's no way. And they get smarter. If you don't do that, I'm going to drive you into the woods and leave you there. If you keep doing that with your eyes, you're going to fucking stay that way. Like that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And pretty soon, all the kids start to go, fuck, mom, dad, they're a fraud. They're not doing any of that
Yeah,
shit.
they're not gonna do it.
Yeah. And I sort of feel, if I can, and maybe Lev, you can pump in here a little bit. I feel like after today's admission by the White House that not only did Marco Rubio and JD Vance not attend this meeting with Greenland and Denmark's prime ministers, respectively, but there's also no deal, and they didn't have any discussions about purchasing or invading Greenland. I feel like Donald Trump has only one play in his negotiating playbook, and that's the parental, if you don't do this, I'm going to invade you. If you don't do this, I'm going to fucking break your arm. If you don't do this, there's going to be hell to pay. But there never seems to be, unless you're Venezuela, Lev.
I mean, he's a typical bully we talk about all the time, and what you're seeing play out with Greenland is a little bit more strategic than just taking over Greenland. Yes, he wants to take over Greenland, and yes, he is very serious about doing it at any cost. But I think again, he's allowing the media to get played and allow the world to get played, because I don't think he's not in a rush to get Greenland today. Today, the reason why Greenland is in the news is because, again, there's things going on with the Epstein files. There's things going on with ICE murder of an innocent woman. So, there's a lot of things that are happening. Ooh, excuse me, I'm just going to make it a little louder. A lot of things that are happening that he needs a distraction from. So, before you saw that happening almost every 2 weeks between Russia and Ukraine. Every time there would be something going on, there would be some sort of either an announcement with Putin or a meeting or some sort of thing. Now, then there was Canada. Now you see Greenland. Venezuela is a totally different animal. Venezuela and is something that has to do with oil, has to do with a strategical power play between what's going on with Russia, China, Iran, and other things. Greenland is more of a yes, we want it, yes, we'll get it, but in the meantime, we're going to use it as such a distraction and make your world upside down with the rhetoric and people thinking because now they've seen what he did in Venezuela. Nobody knows what to expect. Everybody's like, we're going to wake up one morning and we're going to have ships or troops in Greenland. And, and that's the whole purpose of what he wanted us to think. That was one of the reasons he did what he did with Venezuela. But on the flip side, and I'll stop right there, is you actually do have some very sick people, serious people like Stephen Miller, the Russell Vaughts, and others behind the scenes that are really pushing to the Greenland situation because they felt, it's like I said, rapid animals felt blood. It's like when a shark feels blood in the water. What the way they were able to do Maduro and extract them and get them out and get such a clean win. They think that that's going to take place everywhere. Don't forget that was all a setup. It was theatrics. It was a coordinated coup between inside people surrounding him. Greenland's a different world, and we're seeing obviously another, Denmark and others, putting warships and others, moving them into direction again. And that's not to say that I think we're going to go to war. I really can't imagine Denmark firing ships at the United States. I think this is all theatrics, but unfortunately when you have that type of theatrics, all it takes is one wrong shot, one wrong move, and all of a sudden you do have an all-out, full-scale war going at each other. So it's very tense, very dangerous. But with Donald Trump, it's part of his administration.
I should add one other thing that I thought of earlier on today is that the price of gold and silver keeps climbing as the war drums keep beating, and it makes me think that maybe behind all of this is also a bit of a pump and dump for people who are in that world. And as we keep discovering, Donald Trump loves a good pump and dump, as it were. So here he is, potentially increasing the price of gold, destabilizing the dollar even further, it seems, and then setting up a cryptocurrency thing. So there's more potentially in there as well in terms of why they're warmongering as much as they are right now with Europe. But who knows? I think there is a genuine disagreement with Europe.
I think you're extremely correct with that. I
Yeah.
think you're a genius. I mean, you spoke offline a little bit about that. I think a lot of the things, and I don't think, I put it this way, I'm almost positive, and I agree with you that what we're seeing between not only with Epstein, with Trump, but a lot of the things that are happening with these powerful people, especially people in power, eventually has to do with a lot more than what we're seeing and plays out. That it ties into financial destruction, where they're making money. We've seen it happen when Donald Trump did it with the stock market by announcing tariffs and literally telling people to go buy stock before he makes the announcement. It had the stock go up. We've seen the same thing Donald Trump do with the crypto market by launching his stuff, making it, now it's worthless, and then going out doing that. So doing the same thing with gold, silver, it wouldn't amaze me. And I think I agree with you that there's a much bigger financial play behind it. And I agree with you. I think Congress needs to look into not only what they're looking at now, like what's happening with crypto and everything, but they need to look into some of the stuff you've been reporting on that connects the dots, having to go back to a lot of these players that in the Epstein era. The problem with that, Zev, that I've been thinking about is a lot of the people, even in Congress, go way back into that era also. And a lot of them might be complicit, or look the other way. You know what I'm saying to you? Like what's happening with Michael Cohen right now, with a lot of people, they're going to have to make decisions.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a lot of people around him in Congress that have a stank on them that's been in a closet for a long period of time too. Yeah,
it was Barack Obama who had to deal with the 2008 crisis. It was his administration which landed up bailing out everybody. So you could find reason to criticize him for some of that. But was this, if you're the victim of a crime, you're the unsuspecting victim of a crime, you take steps to recover, you're still the victim of that crime. I just think it all needs to come out. The more we look at this, the more we investigate what Michael Cohen may have known in that period of time. And I've been working on this all day. He's involved or would have witnessed a lot of interesting things over those 11 years, especially the 11 years where he and Felix Sater coincided. There was a lot of criming going on, a lot of money laundering going on from the Russians. There was the Soho Tower, which was basically funded by Russian investors. There was the Moscow Tower itself in Moscow, the Trump Tower, that Felix Sater and Cohen were negotiating. And it goes on and on and on. I mean,
and the Soho property, there was actually from Kazakhstan, there was a criminal investigation that the money was taken from Kazakhstan. Felix Sater invested, and Ivanka was involved in the investigation, because there's a lot. You're 100% right. There's a lot more to what Michael Cohen's talking about.
In fact, both the kids were being investigated, and they had to be. And the I don't remember who the DA was at the time, but he was bought off by Trump for $25,000 for his next campaign, and that's why they didn't get charges for what they were doing in Soho. So there's a lot of history, a ton of history there, and we should circle back a little bit into what Ellie was able to bring to the forefront through her team the other day, in terms of this new email that showed up, because I think that's critical for everybody to understand that this email suggests that Michael Cohen had an arrangement or attempted to create an arrangement with the Southern District of New York that he was going to offer information about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein in exchange for a lighter sentence. That's basically the upshot of this email. I'll pull it up in a second here. But, Ellie, do you want to talk a little bit more about the genesis of this? And I'm really interested in hearing more from Lev about what the implications are for this.
Yeah, so, the files are big. There are many of them, and there's only so many people and so much time to dig through them. So I've been really talking to anybody who's a Substack subscriber, that everyone is capable of digging through these files on whatever level and whatever time you have available. And so when we got this last dump just before Christmas, I immediately downloaded it to a Dropbox just so that nothing more could be redacted or removed. And I have just been sharing the link with anybody that wants a copy of the files, and people have been just piecing it out. Anybody who has any skill, who has no skills, as long as you can read and think, you can dig through these files. And so many of the people who are on my Substack list have been digging through these files, and people have brought some pretty interesting stuff. And one of those things was this email from Michael Cohen. A woman brought it to me the other day. She said, I don't know if this is something, but I thought you should see it. I asked her if she wanted her name, linked to it. So she got credit for finding it. And she said, no, thank you. But it was pretty damning. I sent it off to Zev and I said, hey, you might want to take a look at this. And then he saw it, sent me a little fire emoji, and off we went.
Here we are. And here we are.
Way to go. Hey, so Zev, you had a part in this. You didn't say a word. You gave all the credit to Ellie. Look at the humility in this group of muckrakers.
This is a team effort, but also I love Ellie's work, and she's always so thorough, and she's doing such great work that...
Oh, she's incredible.
Yeah.
And if we can, real quick, I want to get to this email. I'll read it, and then if you can put it up, that would be great.
I'm going to try find a few. Sorry, I should have had it ready.
If you can, I'll wait. But just to read...
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
No, please, and then Lev, I'll let you come in, and then I'll just read the email. But just so everybody understands that this is an email from someone in the office of the Assistant United States Attorney's Office at the Southern District of New York. Verifiable, very real. It's got a date. The names are blacked out. I'm sure Lev will be able to fill us in as to the names in this email, and we'll talk about that. And I think it's really important, everybody, to understand what Rule 35 is, because that's in this email. Rule 35 is a rule that the SDNY has, where if they want, they can apply Rule 35, or someone can apply who's been charged with Rule 35 to rat other people out, effectively, right? In exchange for a shorter sentence. It's called Rule 35. So really important for people to understand that. Lev, go ahead if you can, please.
Yeah, so important. What Rule 35 also is for people that are already in prison. It's so that you could get a different type of so if you're helping out before you go in prison. So this is meant for people that already have got convicted of a crime, they're sitting in prison, and now they have evidence to be able to share. Very important. The evidence and information that you would have to share would have to be so extreme. So, literally have to bring convictions, major cases, to be able to, for them to then write a letter to the judge under Rule 35 saying that you were a major help, cooperating with the case. And then the judge could either, depending on what the prosecutors recommend, could either get you out of prison, depending on your sentence, lower your sentence, or whatever. It's basically up to the judge, but the prosecutors write this letter under Rule 35 saying you helped. So what happened here, and again, incredible work by Ellie and her subscribers and her followers and Zeb to find this information, because we knew it existed. And I have to be honest with you, I knew it existed, and I couldn't talk about it because a lot of the stuff that has to do with Michael Cohen also went through my own personal case. I've seen certain things that are still under seal that I can't even talk about because of that. So, but after Tara Palmieri had her, outing with Michael Cohen, and then when we had Zeva and Ellie and Waj and Dean, and then Michael Cohen had that
In
whole
the
blow
world's
up.
most uncomfortable Substack live. Yeah.
It was,
I thought it was lovely.
it was lovely. I mean, and after all those blow ups and everything, I understood that he's hiding something really big, and
Yeah.
we've been working on it. I've been speaking because this is only one part of it, folks. I've also been speaking to several sources that we're getting more information. People that might be coming out on the record also talking about a time and a place and where they know, and a lot of it has to do around the time frame around the KD Johnson situation because that is how it all started. Michael was very offensive, pretending he knows nothing about. So this letter, and let's get back to this letter, and why it's so important. First of all, you see it, it's dated July 19th, Wednesday, July
17th.
17th, 2019. That, first of all, means at that time, Michael Cohen was currently incarcerated at Otisville Penitentiary. Number two is this is when Jeffrey Epstein first gets arrested by Bill Barr. So Michael Cohen, as you could see in this letter, a couple of things. First of all, his lawyers are reaching out to the assistant U.S. attorneys, and this is a memo between the U.S. attorneys internally talking about a conversation one of the ASUs had with Michael Cohen's lawyers. His lawyers, Monaco and Barry Spevak, are very top tier white collar criminal attorneys in New York City. So they're reaching out, and and I'll read the letter. It says basically, Mike Monaco and Barry Spev, they called on behalf of Cohen. They asked whether we would file a Rule 35 requesting a meeting to discuss it. So what that is saying, and that's more information that's going to come out because, like I said, I can't. Some of it's under seal.
Oh,
Hopefully,
there's more
and
follow up to this email. Here's what
oh,
you're
there's a lot
saying.
more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm hoping. There's more, and that's why.
Ellie.
Yeah. Well. You got to keep in mind we only had 1%. Like look how
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
That's why. That just think about it. In the 1% dump, we've already had several emails about Michael Cohen, and we've had several indications that Michael Cohen was on Epstein's mind
Yeah.
during Michael Cohen's testimony.
Mhm.
So for the limited amount of information that we've already received, and from all the screaming that Michael Cohen does release the files, I just want to say, Michael, so far the files that have been released are already damaging to what you are involved in. I can't imagine what else that will be released that we will see because this is not one letter, because you see, and I'll explain to you, because you could see they go back to April 17th, and we'll get to that in a second. The first part of it, they say we asked whether we would file a Rule 35. So he's already been trying to give them information about certain people or certain situations that to try to get a lesser of a sentence, and that's how they're starting off. Then the prosecutor continues and says, he asked Michael Cohen's attorneys what changed since we told them that on April 17th that we would not intend to file such a motion. So what that tells me is that Michael has given them information, either that wasn't good enough, either he lied about something, either he was trying to manipulate, like Michael tries to do, and make himself look like he wasn't involved and somebody else was involved. And that's where the biggest part, because me and Michael had the same prosecutors, and I'll never forget, as one of, and I won't mention their names not to dox them, but as one of the ASU said to me when I first sat down with them and they tried, he looked me in the eye, he goes, "Don't be a Michael Cohen." He goes, "I put him away, and I said, What are you talking about?" I'll never forget that. By me and my attorney were sitting there, he goes to me, "Don't do a Michael Cohen." What he meant by that was Michael Cohen would try to give them information, but he would lie. The lie he would do about was keeping himself out of it, making himself look good. And when you give full information to be able to get any type of letter, either the Rule 35 or cooperation letter, you have to give everything. You have to tell him all your deeds. Yeah. So that's why he was not, a good witness and not somebody that they were willing to do it. So you could see in April 17th, they say, we already told them we were not going to file such a motion. And this is where it gets interesting, folks. This is where their attorney said, what the attorneys for Cohen said to the ASU, they said that Cohen, quote, has heard Trump say things about Epstein, quote. Very important. Very important. It goes on to say, but but would not get into detail at the time about what those news were, and then it goes back to, again, they're trying to rehash the April 17 Rule 35 and trying to give them more information about the Epstein. A couple of important things about that. A, he had to have told his attorneys. These attorneys are professional, very big attorneys. I've been in that situation, and trust me when I tell you, they would not go put their license on the line and just go file these, speak to the ASUs because Michael Cohen said, I heard Trump. They would have had to probe him and have a conversation with him where he had to have explained to him what type of information he has that he could use to be able to get them to get him a Rule 35 letter. To get a Rule 35 letter, that information that Michael Cohen would have had to have given them, it couldn't have been something simple like I heard Trump talking about with Epstein about picking up some girls at a club. No, it would have had to have been detailed information that would have helped prosecute, or convict either Trump or Epstein or both with the information he has, and to be able to get a letter from the prosecutors while you're in prison to try to tell the judge to get you out. So that one little sentence saying he has heard Trump say things about Epstein in the context of a letter that's given to the DOJ and the ASUs, to United States Attorney, to use to lower your sentence is huge. That means to me, and I will go to the end with this, is that Michael Cohen has some extremely damaging, criminal, pertinent information that he is not sharing with the DOJ. He is not sharing with us. He's not sharing with anybody. And to make matters worse, instead of just keeping quiet and going away somewhere, he has been on a constant attack on independent journalists like Ellie that he doesn't even know. He's attacked Tara. He's attacked. He wished for Zev to choke for no reason. I mean, he's got on a tirade of anybody that just doesn't agree with him or talks about the situation. But the worst case scenario, folks, what pisses me off more than anything is that he goes every day on these Substacks in our community, destroys by coming around saying, we're here to build a community, we're here to build a family. What I want is everybody to release the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files. If he says release the Epstein files one more time, I want to smack him in his face because we're releasing the Epstein files. They're being released, Michael. And in the Epstein files, one of them says that Epstein was talking about you, not about Trump, but talking about you. So for Epstein to talk about you to a congresswoman while she's questioning you, yes, you tried to divert attention towards her by saying she is in touch with Epstein. But the reason why you were diverting attention is because Epstein was talking about things he knew about you. The only way he would know things about you, Michael, is if he knew you or he would have a relationship with you. He's not, I don't think Epstein's hiring private investigators to find out about Michael Cohen.
Well, I think he knows a lot, yeah. Look, also Michael Cohen, if you remember, had a taping system in his office, and he recorded every conversation that went on in his office. So if Donald Trump ever showed up, or if Epstein or anybody else showed up in that room, he had it taped. And I want to hear those files. I mean, Michael Cohen, why don't you release those if you're so concerned about our democracy? I'd like to hear what you have on those files, which might indicate whether this president was involved in any criminal activity or any connection, really, with Epstein. Because that is what I read here. When I look at this email, I see him saying that Trump said things about Epstein, not just anything, things that you would get a lighter sentence for if he shared them. So these are... this is the president of the United States at the time. This is not something you just, you call up and say to the U.S. attorney, hey, I've got things that I might want to share. You think about it carefully. You think about what they are, and you would be prepared to present them, proffer them. So it looks very damning to me. And it certainly indicates that Michael Cohen knows a lot more, as he obviously does, because he was there through it all, through so many years of shady activity that we've been able to document, through so many years of connections with Russian mobsters that go quite deep. That go right the way to Semyon Mogilevich and all the way to the Kremlin. You know, the Kremlin's brainy Don is what they call Semyon Mogilevich, and they're all connected in this network of people. Now, of course, it's a very dangerous network of people, and I'm not suggesting that there were any criminal activity going on there, but there could be, and we'd be like to at least understand what the connections were, and we want to understand exactly what it was the president may have been doing.
Ellie, you had something you
Absolutely.
wanted to say, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I just had a
please.
question. Wasn't Cohen released early? I mean, it was during COVID, but didn't he get out earlier than his sentence was anyway and get
That's right.
home
I
released
think
to
so.
house arrest?
Yeah.
Would that have had anything to do with this?
No, it was because
No?
he got
Okay.
released. He got released on COVID. It was the
Okay.
CARES Act that actually Trump signed. I also
Okay.
was fortunate to be able to release early and do home confinement
Okay.
because of COVID. But no, this is guys. This is extreme. First of all, I want to put it to you this way. Tara Palmieri reached out to Cohen. I know others have reached out to Cohen to get a statement. For somebody that has a lot to say, Cohen's nowhere to be found, no statement. Second of all, Cohen just posted that he is going on at 4 o'clock on Substack Live with Joe Walsh. So I recommend every one of you guys out there. I mean, if we're done here, I'm going to go on that live also, and I'm going to say, Michael, where are you? Because enough is enough. You see the shirt? Enough is enough. We're not playing games. We're not hiding. We're not whatsoever. We're not here to pound Michael Cohen and say Michael Cohen. No, this is not. I want to make it sure. This has nothing to do with Michael Cohen. This has to do with the Epstein survivors. This has to do with the information that Michael Cohen has. And this is not more hearsay. This is not about, we're not going to sugarcoat and say, well, maybe this could be read one way. Maybe the letter meant something else. No, folks. No, no, no. This letter is in black and white. I've seen plenty of these letters in my own case. This is a letter where a defendant, through his attorney, is speaking to the Southern District of New York and telling him that he has very pertinent, extremely important, because this is, trust me when I tell you, this is where the important part comes in, because this is not like some fluff information. Pertinent information to be able to have them write a letter to the judge to be able to get him released out of prison earlier. So it has to be some really, really damaging information about either Epstein, either about Trump, or about both of them, because that's who he names in the thing. And the fact that he's not telling us, the fact that he sits there and talks about that, release the files, the fact that he talks about that, these people are under subpoena, he goes on these shows and he acts so righteous and he asks for these donations and people to subscribe and argues with all of these other people. That pisses me off. That pisses me off, because we are here really to save our democracy. We're not here to play games, because of him, he's taking away money that people could be paying Ellie or Zeb or me or Dean or others out there that are doing good work. But he goes out there because if you listen to his whole spiel is nobody knows Trump better than me. Well, Michael, if nobody knows Trump better than you, which is also a lie, come out and tell us what you know. You were going to tell it to the Southern District of New York. It's in black and white. So until Michael comes out and tells us exactly what is going on, I want to hold everybody accountable. Whoever goes on live with Michael, I will be the first one. Join me in joining those lives, and I will be in the message box saying bullshit. Come out and tell the truth. And if somebody wants to cover for him, you know what? It's the same. You know what, folks? It's the same thing as covering for Epstein. What the
It
hell is
is.
the difference? What the hell is it? He's literally right now, Michael Cohen is covering up for Epstein and Trump. Black and white.
When he's out there
That's it.
saying that he doesn't know anything, he's saying that Donald Trump never said anything. Well, that's probably not true. So he's covering up for the president and potential crimes. And Steve Schmidt in the last hour, Dean, you said had some really forceful things
Oh, tell
to
me.
say
Yeah,
about
I
Michael
missed it.
Cohen. So I'm
Oh
really
yeah,
curious about that.
We had a healthy conversation about
I
Mr.
missed
Lev
it.
Parnas. Yeah.
You-
Well,
I
no,
love
it
Schmidt.
was.
I love Steve. Steve is
He's the
incredible.
king. He's the
great.
king. He's the moral center that America should be. But and Steve resonated with a lot of people today. We had thousands of people watch him, basically say, and I'm paraphrasing it, the Cohen's got one play. He's got one play, and that play is to write a piece in a full fucking mea culpa. about lying to the American people, about lying to people like Tara Palmieri, about attacking people like Tara, Ellie, Zev. And that has to happen on one show and one show only. Lev Remembers. LevRemembers.com. Those are Steve Schmidt's exact fucking words, and he's right. And I'll tell you why. Because
I was gonna say I'm gonna be watching that in syndication.
Yeah, I'm there. We'll all be there.
I think Steve wants to be on there because Steve brought up another really valid point today. He's like, if I was with Michael Cohen, I would ask him one question: what is it like to be the biggest fucking failure in political presidential history? Of all the mistresses that were bought off, you got fucking caught. Yeah. You're the only one. It's you. It is you. So those were two really important things, and I think that he's right. I think that he's right on a couple of things. Is that there's a reason why Trump didn't take him with him into the Oval Office, is because Michael Cohen is Michael Cohen, and we're seeing what Michael Cohen is. And listen, I want to preface all this by saying I don't have an axe to grind with Michael. I've legitimately been sort of on the outside because it didn't happen with me. But I cannot deny the fact that Michael Cohen is lying and has been lying about his involvement, knowing what he knows. And it's dangerous for two reasons, and I'll tell you why. Because Michael Cohen could help hundreds, maybe thousands of victims today.
Yeah.
Thousands of victims today. And if that has always been Michael Cohen's expressed goal when developing the community and the resistance, and I don't doubt that that's what he wanted to do. Maybe not for the same reasons we're here, but I don't doubt that that's one of the same that motivated him. So there's that one thing, is that Michael Cohen, if you know what you know and you were willing to fucking horse trade that information to shorten your sentence in prison, and you say you are a warrior for democracy, you scream hashtag release the files, just fucking do it. You chided Michael Wolf for sitting on information. What are you fucking sitting on? And you know, the problem with Michael Cohen is something he said about a month or two ago, where someone asked him in an interview, and you'll have to Google it. I can't, I don't have time to do it. Where they said, hey, if you could, would you endear yourself to the regime again? And he effectively said, fuck yeah, it was fun, man. Yeah. It was fun. And within that, Michael Cohen has painted himself into a corner. The dude is in a cage. Not only is everybody canceling on him when it comes to going on shows, not only is everybody pointing the finger at him and coming into his mentions today, Michael Cohen doesn't have anybody else to play resistance fighter with because he's been snuffed out. Why? Because he refused to do the right fucking thing. And you know what? That's the fucking shame of it all, if you ask me, gentlemen, ladies, everybody watching, is that Mr. Michael Cohen had a golden opportunity when he got out of prison and established himself as an anti-Trumper to do what Lev did. Mean it. And he never did. He never did. And that's what I read in the email that Ellie uncovered at Ellie Leonard, the Panic Writer. Please give her a sub. That is why Tara Palmieri is the gold standard, because she stood on that fucking business. She took bullets. Michael Cohen, and I will share this here with everybody because I already shared it later. I'm in Nashville at a Save America Movement meeting with the steering committee, and my phone goes off, and I get a text from Cohen, and he just eviscerates Tara Palmieri. And I'm like, I don't know what this is about, but I really like Tara. So, news to me. And again, he goes on, untrustworthy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I saw inside the mind of how Michael Cohen operates, because that's how MAGA operates, and that's how Donald Trump is, right? That's how this entire ecosystem works. It's how do you get everybody that does good work? How do you get a good person to question themselves? You go and attack at the people that they're attached to. But it didn't work with Michael Cohen, and now Michael Cohen has no one left to email, no one left to DM, and it's a shame because he's really fucking funny. He's a very bright guy. He's very well-spoken. He does a fucking killer Trump impression on top of that. And he could have been involved in something special if he cared. So those are my thoughts. I'd welcome the floor.
I want to just pop in to hear what the president is saying about Greenland here. Can we just to see what he's up to for a second here? If he says anything.
A case started by China.
Oh, it's breaking up. Oops.
People, tariffs have helped. They've helped.
That's doing that.
Oh, that's shit.
Us get
Yeah, anyhow, he's talking about tariffs and stuff. So it's interesting what he's talking about, of course. But this is counter programming to what they're seeing now. They're obviously, these guys have got an agenda right now to keep the Epstein files off the radar, and they're doing a good job every day by putting up some other big shiny object for us to chase after. And Ellie, I'm really interested in you as you continue to really pursue the story doggedly. What are you noticing that people are stopping to pay attention, or is there an increased interest now in what's going on with the Epstein files?
I think there's an increase in interest. I think people are, whenever there's a distraction, big or small, a righteous distraction or an unrighteous distraction, it's a quicker return to the Epstein files every single time. Like, it doesn't take much for people to go, oh, that's bad, I'm going to pay attention to that, but now I'm going to go back over here and refocus my energy. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. Like, there's no turning back for the American people. Like, they are dogged about these files.
It's so true what Dean and you are saying there about this. These files have really ripped America apart. You've got two sides here. Each side thinks the other side are child predators. This is the thing that's divided America. Is Democrats believe Republicans are child predators, and the reverse is true too. So we have to resolve this. And Michael Cohen, back to what you were saying, Dean, it's so crucial that this man who has this information, who has an opportunity to share something of value with the American people that could really unite to the country. At the end of the day, we're not talking about something that will divide the country. We're talking about something that will unite to the country, that will resolve issues, is not doing that. And, everybody, I think 99% of this country wants to see those files released and this issue resolved. And he's not doing that.
I have a question for Lev about that, actually. You talked to Michael. You haven't in a long time. Obviously, you've decided to be on the right side of history, advocate for victims, truth, transparency, and shit. What are you hearing, like, about him? Like, you're friends with him. Like, what are you hearing that... Has he talked to anybody? Does he have a plan? Is he just going to continually run this up the fucking flagpole, no matter how fucking guilty he clearly is of lying?
Lev, can you hear us? I think we lost Lev. Oh, dear. All right.
Because that's the question I have.
Yeah.
Listen, not to tell tales out of school, and everybody knows that we all have, you and I have talked to Michael Cohen several times, right? I've had Cohen on the show. You've had Cohen on your show. We've had Cohen on our show. We communicated with him. I've shared a couple of FaceTimes and phone calls with him, texts with him. And I'm watching people that he works with, like Lev, is a fucking great example. A guy like Lev go, I am not going to be seen with you in public. I am not going to work with you anymore.
Yeah.
I am not going to talk to you anymore. This is a guy that he fucking went to prison with, Lev. Like, have you talked to Cohen at all? Nothing?
Lev, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear us? Have you?
Oh, yeah. You hear me now? You hear me now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I got disconnected. I was trying to get you. Did I speak to Cohen? No. Like I said to you guys, after we had that whole thing that transpired, he reached out several times to me, texted me, that he's there if I need to talk. I really have nothing to say to him. And behind the scenes, I want it all in the public. I want it all because the people deserve the truth. And the only thing he did is he wished me, I think, a happy new year or something like that. And out of the courtesy, I wished him a happy new year back through a thing, but that was it. And I want to say very clearly, I know a lot of people are trying to be politically correct here and say, and I know, Dean, you also are trying to say, I have nothing against Michael Cohen. You know what? Maybe that would be true a couple of days ago or a week ago or a month ago, but today I have issues with Michael Cohen. I have major issues with that, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And my issue is he's been lying to the people. He's been lying to me. He's been lying to the world.
Has he lied to you privately about this?
Absolutely. I mean, I've told him, I've had conversation with him prior to this coming out. Prior
Yeah.
to this coming out, when this whole thing with Zev blew up, I came to him and I said, "Dude, why don't you go on with Tara Palmieri and Zev and Ellie and everybody and prove, this is what I would do." I mean, when me and Ellie and Waj went live a couple of days afterwards and discussed it. I said, because Waj said, "Listen, it's a bad look." And I said, "I agree with you 100%." And that's when I made my decision. I said, I can't continue being associated with somebody that can't, go out there and face the truth. Instead, is looking for it to just die out. And it really bothered me. And I told Michael, I said, "Michael, I'm not going to defend you, because at that point I didn't have a smoking gun, so I wasn't going to accuse him of something. I
Yeah.
told him I felt that he's hiding it, and I told him I'm not going to go out there and defend him in front of you." And he said that he understood, and that's where we left it. Later on, obviously, you guys saw what happened right before New Year's when he tried to whitewash himself by trying to use my son Midas and others to be able to keep pushing, release the Epstein files. And it is what it is. I know some of you guys are saying, let's move on. And also some of you guys are saying, send me an email. I'm not going to put out the name because I'm not here to dox people, but this is the vice president, senior Democrats communications, North Carolina senior Democrats. Okay. Bottom line, Cohen is on our side, and we need more people like Cohen to support our efforts to preserve our democracy. You know what? I want to throw up in your face, dude. Dude, woman, whoever that is. That's just disgusting. You know what I'm saying? And for people that don't want to be a part of this and do not care about the Epstein files, getting to the bottom of it, think it's boring, think that this is, we're trying to attack Michael Cohen and move on. Move on to what? What do you want to move on to? We're here to try to get the truth to the Epstein files. We're trying to get to the bottom and get some sort of a resolution. Michael Cohen has been lying to all of you, all of us. A lot of you are paying You're paying to him. You're subscribing to him for him to lie to you, to come out every day, say to you to release the Epstein files. Well, the Epstein files are being released, and right now we have incredible journalists like Ellie that has found the smoking gun, folks. This is it. I mean, where is Michael Cohen? Let Michael Cohen come out here, and then we could move on. Until then, there is nothing moving on, because today Michael Cohen still goes on with people like the Midas Touch, people like Joe Walsh, people like Ron Flipolansky and others, and Popik and all of these people that are not aware what's going on. And then it's going to become, and you think it's going to help our democracy when this thing turns into a shit show, and the mega is going to use it against all of us and turn the right. This is what you think move on. No, moving on is getting to the bottom of it. Moving on is making sure that Michael Cohen either confesses, comes true, or he has to then go on to do something else. Because I'm not going to allow him to continue sitting here talking about how he wants to protect the victims and the survivors, how he wants to save our democracy, how he knows Donald Trump better than anybody. And here he is not talking about the number one thing that could save our democracy, that could stop these bombings in Venezuela, that could stop Trump going after Greenland, could stop everything, is just for Michael Cohen to come out and tell maybe the truth that might be the smoking gun that Rokana and the others need to go out there right now and stop this craziness.
Dave, I've got
So
to just,
that,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No,
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 no. I
after
just want to
Khalid
endorse
does.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
keep
yeah,
going,
go
keep
ahead.
going. Because
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
because sometimes people, like, they send emails like, don't right now, this is not. I don't understand. I really don't understand. It's sickening to me that people could defend anybody. Then it's the same thing. If you're defending right now Michael Cohen, you're defending Epstein, you're defending Trump, and you're defending Pam Bondi. You're defending the all cabal that are occurring. Because what makes Michael Cohen different than Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, or any of them? They're covering it up. Michael Cohen's covering up. The letter is right there. You saw it in black and white. This is the DOJ put it out there. This is not something that I wrote. It's not something. This is real serious stuff. This is not a joke, folks. That we need answers to this. What does Michael know about the Epstein and Michael Cohen stuff? If you don't want to know, that means I don't want you to subscribe to me. I'm sorry. I rather it's nothing personal, but go subscribe to Michael Cohen and enjoy yourself. Have a great day. Over here, that's why I wear this T-shirt every single day, folks. Every single day. And I'm going to wear it until we get them out. Enough is enough. Enough with the bullshit, covering up. What's the point? Everybody says, let's save our democracy. And then all of a sudden, same thing with Bill Clinton and everybody else. I don't care about Bill Clinton. I don't care about Michael Cohen. I don't care about these people that are playing games. They're trying to do it. I care about one thing and one thing only, is to get Donald Trump out of office so we could get some sort of a democracy back, where we could get back to disagreeing, agreeing, and having some sort of rule of law. Right now, we live in an authoritarian country, folks,
Mhm.
and we're losing our rights every single day. We could wake up any day right now where all of a sudden he puts the insurrection law and we lose all our rights.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying to you. Wake up already. Enough. This ain't a joke. It's not a game. People have to be responsible and accountable. Michael Cohen, we're not talking about some reality show. This is the Epstein files, folks. This is a letter from the DOJ saying that Michael Cohen has information about Epstein and Donald Trump. And you're going to tell me to move on? You're going to tell me that leave him alone because we need to save our democracy? I recommend don't even talk to me or call me, because I will unleash on wrath on you like you're not even ready for. That's my
Yeah, and
last
I
time.
think
Next
you
time
will.
I will. Next time I will
Because what are we?
expose you. So don't send me the emails. Don't text me, because I will expose you.
What are we
Don't
meant to
do it.
move on? Move on from what? You know?
Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
because this is the whole fucking
Yeah.
ballgame. It is the fucking Epstein files. It
Mhm.
is the Epstein files. And I just want to pose a question, and anybody can answer it. Now, this is from the DOJ, but it's also from the Trump DOJ, but it also, incriminates Trump. So it's probably fairly authentic. But is there a chance that after that email, Michael Cohen did go and meet with the district attorney and indeed did lie about the information he had, and Michael Cohen doesn't know anything about Jeffrey Epstein and he was just lying?
That he was lying to the U.S.
Hey, I'm just
attorney.
playing. You know how I feel. I
No,
fucking think he knows a
absolutely.
lot.
That's
It's
a great point. We will find it. Then we will have it will be in the episode, because, like I said,
Yeah.
there's going to be more. That was not, just so you understand. That was just one communication, and
yeah.
also that is a communication internal. So there's also communication that the ASU did while he was talking on the phone with Michael's attorneys. There's also communication about the April 17 meetings
Mhm.
that Michael
Mm-hmm.
Cohen had with
Mm-hmm.
them, because you see
Okay.
there's a lot going on. So there's
Yeah.
plenty of more
It's really
communication. That's what I'm
risky.
saying to you.
It's really
Yeah,
risky. If he
no.
had lied about this, he would have been facing even
But
longer
it's
sentence.
5 years. They would
Michael
Yeah.
Cohen.
exactly. If he
Yeah.
would have lied, they
Right.
would have
Yeah,
added
you could
another 5 years,
try,
because
but
that's the first thing they say to you when
yeah.
you go there. They say, if you lie to us, it's 5 years. We're going to charge you with an additional charge.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a risky move by anyone to do. I mean, it seems to me that it's really hard in this situation to walk away from what the statement is. Go ahead. Dean.
Ellie, question for you as well. Thank you. Fuck, this is
Mhm.
such great backstory. I love it. I am a very good interviewer. You're welcome, everybody. Ellie, question for you.
Yeah.
Question for you. Knowing what that email said, knowing the context that we now have, thanks to Lev, we got timing, we've got, we have intent, right? Are there other emails that you have read in your voluminous scraping of the Epstein files so far that you can go, oh, that makes this email make more sense, or that makes this witness or this thing that I read, or, are there other assets that you can point to in your journey, which has been fucking incredible? And thank you for doing it. It's such a service to survivors and the media and people that just want the truth, no matter what you believe. Can you kind of walk me through that, if any of this kind of jogged your memory about other stuff in the Epstein files where Michael Cohen seems to not be telling the truth?
I think, Cohen has been his so far, and granted, like, I am not even through the last file number. I've gone through such a minimal percentage of this
Well, what have you been
entire.
doing?
I know, right?
Lots
But
of
like,
lives.
the last year of Epstein's life was basically all of 2018. He knew he was under surveillance, and during that time, and during the time he was speaking with Steve Bannon all day, every day, he was very focused on Michael Cohen's trial. He was talking about it. He was sending links about it. He was asking questions about it. At the time, granted, I don't know Michael Cohen. I come into this not knowing anybody. Nobody knows me. It's very helpful for me, thankfully. But going into this, my assumption was he was watching Michael Cohen's trial in consideration what he thought could happen to him. but he was paying very, very close attention to that trial the entire time. And that is the main connection that I saw between the two.
Can you give me
He
examples?
was,
Can you give me some examples?
I mean, not off the top of my head. I can go into the Bannon emails and I can search for Michael Cohen because it was quite a bit. But it was just that he was, anytime something popped up in, he was very much like Trump. He read the newspaper, all the newspapers every single day. He watched all the news stories every single day. He was very obsessed with the news. And so anytime that there was a Michael Cohen article about like his sentencing, if he had lied, what he was getting away with, or what he was getting in trouble for, he linked it and he sent it to all of his friends. And he said, hey, look at this. Or
Here's one of
sometimes he
them.
didn't say anything.
Here's one of them. You can take a
Yeah, go
look.
ahead.
There's you can't see the whole email here. It's a little cut off. This one, I mean, it's nothing just him just responding, "Yup," but someone, and I think I think it might be his
Bannon.
accountant that sent this, and it's the sense there's Michael Cohen sentenced to 3 years in prison following the plea that implicated Trump, and he says, "Yup." I mean, that doesn't say very much, of course, but it's an indication, I think,
That
that
he's
of the kind of
following, yeah.
emails we got along the way here, where he referenced this. And there's others I haven't even scrutinized yet, and I'm just going to throw these up. I'm not even sure what they, I'm not even sure if I should be doing this, but they are, there are other emails that involve. This is Woody Allen. This is the same kind of conversation they had about the Michael Cohen testimony, and I'll pull this up in greater detail later on.
You talked to Woody
Sure.
Allen about Michael Cohen's testimony?
It appears that that's who the Woody is, that they're talking about doing an interview in order to resuscitate Jeffrey Epstein's reputation, and that Woody was going to direct that, which I thought could only mean Woody Allen, but of course it could be other people.
There's one other Woody, but I don't think he applied into this.
Yeah, I think the other one is a football owner or something like that. But there's, this is a longer conversation that also includes some Michael Cohen in it, and I won't waste our time here looking for it, but I will post it later.
It speaks to the obsession, crosses
Yeah.
multiple topics, right? And Michael Cohen seems to be in all the emails, Ellie, to your point.
Yeah, so he says, in talking with Steve Bannon, he goes, Jeffrey Epstein says Cohen's arrest is bad, and Steve Bannon says end of days, and then Jeffrey Epstein says Avenatti, who's the other lawyer, Deco of Trump moves front and center, civil, so no hiding, and now with the Cohen plea, wow.
Yeah,
so he was talking about Cohen quite a bit.
And the reason they're talking about Cohen quite a bit is because Cohen is Trump. I mean, Cohen is part of this, at least an awareness of this network. He would know all the things that Trump did for all these years.
Yeah, he seemed to be really like Epstein. I got the impression in some of the conversations he had about Cohen in some of these exchanges that he seemed to be pretty stressed out, or seemed to think that this was going to be bad for more than him and more than Donald Trump, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I think that's true. I think if you look at Epstein's connections to the network, you look at Trump's connections to the network, there's the same network. It could expose a lot of people. And remember, that's what Trump has always been saying. He says the release of the Epstein files is going to hurt my friends. It's going to hurt my good friends, whatever he calls them. Yes, they would hurt your good friends. So they are. We should take it live. But it is something that would hurt his friends. His friends happen to maybe be involved in criminal activity, and that's what Epstein would have been worried about, because we know of his criminal activities. And you would have to extend that goes to other people too. Just it's natural that this should be investigated, and it wasn't. And that's the other piece of it is, we're still sitting on only 1% of the files. The other 99% potentially implicate other people.
Yes.
And that's the whole thing, and that's the crazy part. I mean, just think about, we've only gotten 1%, and that 1%, look already how much Michael Cohen conversation is. And listen, you might have a lot of different conversation, but the one smoking gun there right now that is black and white, there's no other way to interpret it, that says that Michael Cohen has information. What that information is, only Michael Cohen knows, and his lawyers know. So the fact that he's not talking and telling us he's saying he knows zero. Do you see, that's the problem. It's not like he's saying, listen, I know that Michael, I've seen Epstein and Trump, let's say, on a boat, and that's all I know, and that's the information I was going to tell them. That would be one thing, but he's been adamant, insulting, calling people, saying he knows nothing, like literally to the fact like he doesn't even know who Epstein is,
Yeah.
to that degree. And now, he's saying that he had information. It's interesting, folks. Actually, right now, I just got a notification. Michael is live
Yeah.
with Joe Walsh. Just think about it. He has not responded to Tara Palmieri. He's not responded to anybody out here, but he business like usual, ignoring it. I'm curious to see what he's possibly could be talking about Joe Walsh, if he's even addressing the situation. And
All the people in the comments are asking him too, so it could be very
It's good that they're asking.
We
I'm going to see
should
if I
put
can
the
pull it up.
comments up. You should. Do we have the ability just to put the
You should see
comments?
Michael.
I think we. I'm going to see if I can. Actually, I'm going to see if I can do it. There's another email, by the way. This is from Richard Kahn to Jeffrey Epstein, just informing him about the raid on his office, which would have triggered concern, I'm sure, around all those tapes that he had. Why? Why is he so interested in this as a high priority, high importance email? That there was a raid on Michael Cohen's office. That would be significant. I'm going to try to get this tape up, but in the meantime, just.
Well, he was Trump's
because-
lawyer and fixer. Yeah. Is it bad, guys? Just a quick, straw poll. Is it a bad thing if we get the chat from Michael Cohen?
They're all saying, "Can you please explain Rule 35, Michael?"
Well, I mean, it's a good
Brenda.
question. It's a really good question, and we all got to know the answer to it. So it's. I'm going to try to pull it up. Let me try to do that while you guys
That's so
talk.
funny.
I just hope Walsh,
Scrolling.
asks him and doesn't tickle around him, and I hope Walsh does the right thing and puts his feet to the fire, and and says
So here's a question I have for you, dude. Would anything change if he did for you?
Excuse me.
Like, let's say Joe Walsh is like, "How dare you, Michael? Tell me the truth. Nothing makes sense. Clearly, this says that you know more than you know. Clearly, you hid information and you tried to horse trade for." Like, he goes through the whole routine, and Michael goes, "Yeah, very sorry. I totally lied. Well, I'm a liar, big time. I love lying. It's the best, all that other shit." And he's like, "I'm sorry to Lev, da 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 da. And now I want to be on the right side of history." Knowing, what happened with you, how he used, Aaron for his own purposes and all the other bullshit, hasn't returned your calls. You invited him to face it like a man publicly. Would it change anything for you with him?
I mean, I don't think I don't think anything could change already with me and Michael after watching, because I mean, to watch to what degree and he's been hiding, and covering up for the Epstein files. It's the same thing as saying, would it change for you? Would you forgive Trump or Epstein or any of these if they said I'm sorry? No, it's not going to change. The only thing that would change is he could live with himself peacefully, and people could have less anger and look at him and say you did the right thing, and maybe with time forgive him for all of that, because he could be a hero. He could come out right now and if just put it this way, to be able to come out and have information that would be relevant to a criminal investigation dealing with Trump and Epstein, I think Michael could do a big service for this country, which
Yeah.
I could look the other way. It doesn't mean we would be friends. It doesn't mean tell people, that what's it called? I would go and break bread or do shows with them, but I would definitely, stick up and say, that's the right thing to do and support him on that mission. Just like, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, perfect example. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not somebody that I'm going to ever support on anything she does, except for the Epstein files. It's what's happening, because even that she's trying to use to be able to her advantage. She's not a good person. Michael Cohen has showed me that he's not a good person. He's been, for the past 6-7 years, he's been playing along, playing that mea culpa role, taking advantage. I've been listening to his spiel, talking about how he's the victim, he's being attacked, he's this. And at the end of the day, if you really take a look, he's a major con artist, just like Donald Trump, because he made it all about him, and every conversation's about him. It's not about him. It's about the victims. It's about the survivors. It's about saving our democracy. It's about, and that's, so I don't think I could forgive him, and, because, certain things are unforgivable. The fact
Yeah.
that he has been holding this information, and we had to get to it the way we're getting into it, it's a crazy. I'm saying, somebody just texted me that his response is to us, that's all lies. Everything that is being said is all lies.
We're lying.
Yeah, that's what he keeps saying. It seems that we can listen in a little bit. Let's see what he has to say.
No.
Yeah,
No,
that's
no,
what
no, no,
we
no.
don't do that.
What?
No.
Why?
No, we don't do
Okay.
that. We don't.
Oh, we're not
But
to
the chat is interesting. Ellie, let's do it. This is my old radio fucking training coming in. Over to Ellie for a quick update on the chat situation. Ellie, what do you have for us?
Not good. Like, I was just looking on my phone, and I kind of feel bad for Joe because he looks a little stunned. But it feels like because I don't know who Michael's audience is. I don't know if they're devoted supporters, no matter what kind of a thing. But it doesn't feel like it today. Like, everybody's in there going, "Fess up. Where's the email? What does it mean? Explain Rule 35. You're lying." Like, and I can't hear Michael, but his mouth was moving pretty fast. He looked a little upset.
He does look upset. Yeah, he sounds upset.
Lev, what's going through Joe's mind right now?
I feel bad for Joe. Joe's a good guy.
Great guy.
Michael, and unfortunately, Michael uses people like that. You know what I'm saying to you. And now Joe's put in a position, and if I was Joe, I would have not went on with him today. But to each his own. You know what I'm saying to you. I would have skipped a day and let this thing play out. But listen, he's a grown man. He's gonna have to make his. He was trying to get more. He just said, somebody said that it's my attempt to get people distracted and to get more paid subscribers. that this is my folks. Do you want me to go into his live right now? I could go in there instead of. Would you like me to?
I mean, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, let me go.
I just can't help but if you do,
hold
we'll
on.
go on.
You know what? I'll go live. I'll go into his live on my other phone.
This is getting
Hold
too
on.
meta. Like, I
Hold on.
It's so postmodern.
Oh.
I can't even follow the conversation.
Hold on.
Hey, ladies and
I don't know
gentlemen,
what's
welcome to the morning zoo.
Hold on.
Looking what's real, what's not, what's live. Who knows?
Okay, we got Lev. So just to bring everybody up to speed, we got Cohen and Walsh on right now. Cohen is calling us and Lev liars, and Ellie and the world, and the paper and digital prints and stuff like that. Evidence, and apparently, and now it's saying that Lev's only doing this to get more paid subscribers. By the way, you're not going to get this anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to get this on CNN or MSNBC. Now's a great time to hit the Chiron at the top there. Please subscribe to us. That would be lovely.
You can address whatever you want to address. And I'm not going to, I don't know. And I'm going to be clear about something.
That's Joe Walsh. He's going on with,
he's on the. It's fair enough to listen to some of this.
Okay. All right. Do you want to hold that to the, hold that
I think
to
I
the
can
mic
put it up
there?
here. I think I can put it up here.
About me than maybe any human being that's out there. Like I was reading just some of them. All right. You can never, ever disprove a negative. You just can't do it. All right. And I'm not going to even try
to bring me up.
And by the way, ultimately prove. As when I turned around, do you remember, Joe, at the very beginning of the entire scenario, going back into 2017? Going back to 2017, when all of a sudden Michael Cohen was in Prague. No, I wasn't. Never been to the Czech
Prague
Republic.
again.
Never there. I didn't take $10 million.
Yeah. We don't need it. We don't need it.
It's like, I mean, I've heard this a million times. If I've heard it once.
You know what? And that's the other thing is that Michael Cohen is really good at doing what Trump does, right?
Yeah.
Like he's really good at sticking to a script, reusing the same excuses and stories if they are real. I am not here to but they are the same ones. And that generally speaking don't have anything to do with the actual allegation, right?
Yeah.
Or and that's what I find really fascinating. The other technique and the strategy I find fascinating about Mr. Cohen, which is very Trump-esque, and he learned it from Roy Cohen and Trump learned it from Roy Cohen, and is very, very similar, is do not fucking back down. Even in the face of hundreds of pages of evidentiary proof. Do not back down.
I don't think he will back down, and that's a good, it's a good place for us to think about where he's at.
I'm reading Lev's comments.
Oh, what is he
What's
saying?
he saying?
Oh, sorry,
Read him. What do you got? Stop lying.
Yeah.
Just when I went off the screen.
Yeah,
the
ladies
most
and gentlemen.
technology I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
ladies and
Wait
gentlemen.
a second.
Again, you're not getting this on CNBC.
We can see your messages now, Lev. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. I'm confused.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, Zev. If you were hoping for some kind of hard-hitting 60 minutes kind of panel bullshit today,
Oh no, I wasn't.
this is my wheelhouse. I got it from here.
You got it.
All the chirons.
You do have to leave it a few minutes though, because I gotta run to do another thing at 4:30. But I'm this is fascinating to me and really important. Actually, I don't want to dismiss how important it is that we're hearing from. This is a conversation that needs to be happening in the same room. It shouldn't be Michael and Lev in another room. It's ridiculous.
No, but we're trying to smoke the guy out.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't intend to do this either. But here, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually a fucking moment in history. You literally have two of Trump's former fixers, including one his personal lawyer for 14 years or 11 years or whatever it was, and Lev Parnas, that to tell two very differing stories. And Lev Parnas, who's on with us, all of the weight of the evidence points to the fact that Lev Parnas is telling the absolute God's honest truth. And all the weight of the evidence suggests that Michael Cohen tried to horse trade some freedom in prison for a lighter sentence because he said he allegedly had some information about Trump and Epstein. That came out through Ellie's reporting, who's here with us right now.
You can see
but
Lev saying there, it's not about Lev or Michael, Zev. I don't know if it's saying Zev or me, but Lev. But there you go. It's he's responding in real time, and you can see Michael's noticing.
He looks thrilled.
Yeah, he does not look very happy about Lev being there, but he's certainly noticing.
I think he's talking about it now. Do you want to bring up the audio again and see where he's at? Because if he's rehashing something, we can just dump out of it.
Yeah. Let me try. Sorry, it's a little complicated, but here you go. Is there no audio? There should be audio.
I want people to think for a second, has there not been 7 congressional hearings, 63 hours, thousands of questions, not one statement, one statement has been questioned as far as truthfulness. So mind you, do you really think
he's saying
that
about himself?
if I had something that I wouldn't be the first one running out there? I'm just not going to make it up in order to appeal to people's prurient interests, plain and simple. I'm just not going to do that. That's my statement. All right. I stand by it. And at the end of the day, once again, it will be proven that what I am telling you here today is 100% truthful. I do not know. I do not know. Other than what I've already acknowledged, which is I received a complaint, which was in the name of a Jane Doe, a minor, by and through her mother Jane Doe. And that matter was dismissed by the lawyers because Jane Doe
lived in a parking lot?
was not
saying that she
a
lived
legitimate
in a parking
case. Plain and simple. That's what I know. So when people start talking about Katie Johnson, this Jane Doe and Katie Johnson are not the same people.
But they are.
That has been already acknowledged by Lisa Bloom, who is Katie Johnson's lawyer. And with that, I turn around and I say, the Katie Johnson case is being handled by Alan Garten, the general counsel to Trump. I don't know about it.
And it is a lie because everyone knows that. There was one case. Katie Johnson was filed in California, and then Lisa Bloom took it over and she refiled the case in New York, and that became the Jane Doe case. Same case, exactly the same case. There was no other case that we're aware of. It would be big news if there was another case involving Epstein and Trump and an underage girl. We would all have heard about it. We didn't hear about it because there was only one case. It's the Katie Johnson case. And the reason it was dismissed and taken out is because she was bullied so much, and there was investigators that came around her so much or whatever that she had to cancel that they pulled out of the case. This was days before the election, by the way.
Assuming that you're able to provide relevant
information. Having said that, Michael has a couple of issues here because he's lying.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, he's saying he allegedly tried to buy off, threaten, pay, whatever that means, a different underage Jane Doe.
Yeah, which would be terrible anyhow.
And now says he knows nothing. Like that, honest to God.
And this is just the beginning of it. And obviously he told the
None of that
lawyers
makes any fucking sense.
He told lawyers that he
whatsoever.
had information. He told the lawyers that he did have information about Trump and Epstein. So what is that information? Because all he's fessing up to here is Katie Johnson or Jane Doe, but there's what is other stuff then that he's not telling people? Because this is just one piece of it, the Katie Johnson story. There's other elements that he must know about.
And if that was successful, whether it was the underage Jane Doe he bought off, forced away, threatened, or Katie Johnson, the 13-year-old who was threatened, bought off, forced out. If that's the case, and we know that Donald Trump is a convicted sexual predator and an adjudicated rapist, credibly convicted or credibly accused of at least sexually abusing at least 26 different women, which really fucking matters here because this has to do with the Epstein files. And Michael allegedly, according to what we know, was somewhat successful, right?
In
how many other people, women, children, families, did Michael Cohen have to do this for aside from this? Because it's like mice.
Well, we know that Stormy Daniels was his thing that he had to deal with.
Yeah,
Stormy Daniels,
he admits to it.
Yeah, there was the other woman in that Stormy Daniels case. His name escapes me right now. That he did that with her
Karen
too.
McDougal?
Yeah, Karen McDougal. He handled that for Trump too. Is it likely he handled Katie Johnson? Also, very likely. Look, the thing about Katie Johnson is Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump were accused of raping Katie Johnson together. This is what that story really is. That's a very significant thing to be, in terms of what we're dealing with right now. The connection between those two. Katie Johnson is the one woman,
man, oh man, it's funny because
of the rape.
Yeah, and Ellie just put in like literally sexual accusations against Donald Trump, all the credible ones. Is that correct?
Yep, 31.
31. Sorry, not 26. Okay. My bad. 31. She put that in the chat. Everybody, please go into the chat. You can go and open that and have a look. This now opens up, unfortunately for Mr. Cohen, a litany of other questions. Just this post that Ellie just put up in the chat.
I'll tell you one other thing that's really interesting is Jeffrey Epstein, when he found out about the allegations against him and Donald Trump from Katie Johnson, the first person he sent an email to alerting them about this case was Tom Barrack, who at the time was the head of the finance committee, of the fundraising committee for Donald Trump's election campaign. It was basically his right-hand man during the election campaign in terms of fundraising.
Yeah.
So that is, that was the first person he texted right away to say, hey, this is an issue. He called it nuts. I think it was what he called it. He called it nuts, the case. But regardless, he then kept a really close track of every single detail about that case through his attorney, and so did Tom Barrack. It's remarkable to me that he texted him right away. That's how close that relationship really was. And even though he might have been close with Donald Trump, as it reportedly wasn't close to Donald Trump anymore, but nevertheless, he was close to Barrack, and they was able to contact Barrack about that case. I think it's just, there's so much overlapping smoke here that it's hard to say otherwise. Very good.
You should text Steve. Tara and Steve are doing a live right now.
Yeah. I think we should hand off and say go and jump on with Tara and Steve, because that'll be an hour's worth of Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody for joining us. Hey, Lev, can you turn that down a little bit for us, bud? Just a little bit.
Lev, can you turn it down? I'll turn it down.
Yeah, just mute it.
Yeah.
But I want to thank everybody for joining us for the 5-stack today, even though it was kind of a 1, maybe 2, possibly a 3-stack. And say thank you to Ellie for the incredible journalism and the dogged determination, the panicked writer. Well done.
Subscribers, they helped out with us quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Thank you,
you've got your own beautiful community there. Real quick, any pushback? Have you had anybody come after you for that?
Oh no, like everybody's really excited. People like the Easter eggs. Like people like it when something pops up that, we've had a million people say, oh, we've already gone through the entire files, we didn't find this or we didn't see this, and then you find something that nobody talked about and they go, hold on, and it just makes everybody just like come alive again and get very excited and go, oh yeah, we are doing something, oh yeah, there is progress here. So I think I haven't had any pushback. I may after this live that's going on, we'll see.
Okay, good. Ellie Leonard, the Panicked Writer, please go and give her a subscription. Hit the chyron at the top, and you will be subscribed to Miss Ellie Leonard. Do it right now. Don't walk, run. She is the greatest. Thanks, Ellie. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to Lev, who is on standby right now. Lev, I don't know if you could hear us. Maybe give us a wave if you can. Hello? No,
He can hear us, I think, but I think he might be roast in the chat.
FaceTime
He hears?
my
think
dad.
yeah, probably. He's busy in the chat with the Cohen Walsh thing. And we'll talk about that. Yeah, he's going crazy. And thanks to my friend Zev Shalev for hosting this narrative.org. That is where you will find him. The Greatest High series. Excellent job.
Go
Sorry,
ahead,
I can't
Tom.
hear you. Lev.
Talks when he's asked questions.
Say
What's that?
again? What?
I can't hear you guys right now.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay. That's okay. But so we're just wrapping up, dude. It's all good. But tell us what you have there, and tell us where we can find you.
Oh, at narrative.org, narrativ.org. That's where we have The Greatest Heist, and everyone should read The Greatest Heist because it really is about the intersection of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein and their criminal network. So it's really worth your time. Chapter 8 coming out this weekend. And Dean Blundell from deanblundell.substack.com, always full of the best news you can imagine. You've had a very busy day today with the likes of Steve Schmidt and others on your lives, as well as other news. Tell everyone what they can find on your Substack.
Yeah, deanblundell.substack.com is where you can find us. We got 25% off annual subscriptions right now for the month of January. So please go and take advantage of that. You can gift a subscription as well. But please just share the content, including the interview we had today with Steve Schmidt, which was great. We do it every Wednesday. We do a quick catch up, and he got in on the Cohen stuff. We talked about the Washington Post reporter, which we did not talk about today. We have to.
Yeah, we
whose
do.
home was raided because Donald Trump wants to know who her fucking sources are. It's just insane. And we also talked about Trump giving a Ford auto worker the middle finger, which we will talk about tomorrow. We didn't get to today because we had other fish to fry. But please, if you can go there and check it out, that'd be great. And thank y'all for joining us for the Five Stack today. Make sure you subscribe to everybody here. Make sure you say hello to everybody here. Thank them for their hard work, including Miss Ellie, who is the reason for the season today. Great work, kid.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay.
Lev Parnas
Thanks,
is doing a
everybody.
terrific job and great,
Oh, yeah.
great
Yeah,
advocating for everybody, Lev. So thanks so much for your
Yes,
time,
he
although he's
is.
not paying any attention to us.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, thank you. And have a great night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with
Good
another
night.
edition. Bye-bye.